afternoon. This is Hadir Hassan with a news brief. In local news, according to the Lehigh Valley Live, conflict was expected at the Lehigh Valley polling places, but got civility instead. Some Lehigh Valley voters went to the polls on Tuesday in fear of the tense situation given the rhetoric on the campaign trials, but the fears turned out to be unfounded. After an hour of the polls closing statewide, Pennsylvania Secretary of State Kathy Boockvar said there were no reports of violence and only a few cases of voter intimidation that were handled at county level. A Lehigh Valley voter arrived early Tuesday to a Lower Macundry poll site and was surprised at how uneventful of an experience it ended up being. Another voter said he thought there would be a bunch of Biden and Trump people trying to convince you to vote a particular way, but it was nothing close to that. Voters were also thrilled with the system Lehigh County had for in-person ballots. They said it was very easy and worked well. Voting was different across counties this year because of the pandemic, but still effective. As of Wednesday morning, Pennsylvania was too close to call for the presidential election. Governor Tom Wolf urged voters to be patient as the votes are still being counted. In national news, according to CNN, there are a few things to know about November 4th, 2020. The first is the presidential election. President Trump said he would go all the way to the Supreme Court to get all voting to stop if the race remains unclear the next few days. The Trump campaign has also threatened legal action to curtail counting in Pennsylvania. Next is citizens had to take other ballot decisions in the U.S. Arizona and New Jersey voted to legalize marijuana use, while South Dakota became the first to legalize both recreational and medicinal use in the same day. Colorado voters rejected a proposition that would have tightened restrictions on abortion. In coronavirus-related news, there are more than 91,000 new recorded cases in the U.S. Countries overseas like China and Japan are also seeing spikes in new cases. There are now more than 46 million cases worldwide with over 50,000 hospitalized Americans. In state news, according to the Inquirer, Philly merchants from Wawa to local liquor stores board up and plan to close early with worries about post-election unrest. The city has already been suffering from scattered looting and property destruction from the killing of Walter Wallace Jr. Protests that happened last week on October 26. Many of the businesses were also hit in May following the unrest of the killing of George Floyd by the police. Nationwide, businesses have suffered an estimate of $1 billion in insured losses from property damage and theft this year. The Washington Post reported that this year's protests have been the costliest civil disorder in the U.S. history. More than 80 independent drugstores and 24 liquor stores in Philadelphia and nearby suburbs have reported break-ins and looting last week. In ESU news, the last day for students to withdraw from classes is this Thursday, November 5th. Midterm grades for undergraduate students are now available for viewing at esu.edu under the Student tab. Spring 2021 advanced registration begins on Monday, November 9th, and can also be done at the ESU website. Resources like financial aid, tutoring, and career and workforce development are still available for students on the website. And now, with today's forecast. The current temperature is 55 and sunny with a high of 64 and a low of 39. Tomorrow's weather will be partly sunny with a high of 64 and a low of 45 degrees. This has been Hadir Hassan with your news brief.